Hey guys, Biggie here, and welcome to NGVO. As promised, I released a visual-only mod list for Skyrim Special Edition. Now, I'm just going to do a video showing you guys the visuals of NGVO and going over what is in it, what the theme of NGVO is, what my theory was going into this mod list. So first things first, this is a visual-only list. I tried to really stick to that theme. I tried not to stray away from anything that I don't think is visual. So mostly it's just the landscape stuff. All the textures have been overworked, and I've tried not to have anything that will really impact your... Wait, you really gonna fight an elk like that? I try not to do anything that would really strongly impact your overall gameplay. So that way you guys can add your own stuff to this list. Or you can play full vanilla, just with really crazy graphics if you want. Now there are certain things like enhanced vanilla animations from Vero Levi. So when you swing your weapon, for example, you will have a different animation. NPCs will be their vanilla selves, just a lot more enhanced. And that goes to bandits, to all the different NPCs that you encounter in your travels. All of the animals, as you can see, this wolf, have been retextured and fluffified where they can be fluffy. Also, NGVO comes out of the box with things like a fixed creation kit, so you can do all the patching that you need to do, SSE edit, text gen, log gen, Dyn-to-Lod, cathedral asset optimizer, everything that you really need. And it also does have something such as Northern Roads. I left Northern Roads largely untouched. I did add some necessary smaller patches when I needed to. But if you don't like Northern Roads, if you want to go with the traditional blended roads, for example, these are at the bottom of the load order. You can just rip them out if you prefer something else. And stick with your blended roads, get simplest roads, whatever you feel like is needed. Now this does use Fantasia landscapes. And reverse the Ulvenwald for trees. You have water for ENB as the water mod, as well as a custom tweaked cabbage ENB out of the box as the ENB replacer. Now, when it comes to the plugins in this list, as I stated, I tried to make it as compatible as possible. I combed through, this is technically a fork of Lorem. I combed through things and I only tried to leave plugins that didn't affect any vanilla records or anything like that, where I felt it was appropriate to. If you guys do want to re-add any of that stuff, you can certainly do so, but really it's meant for ease of use. I'm playing on like novice difficulty, by the way, if I'm just crapping on everybody. We're gonna go check out the interior lighting though. But if you've played Lorem, you'll notice some of the same textures being used for things. The landscape and trees and grass are the main big difference. Head on into Ember Shard Mine. Now I do still recommend a kind of medium spec PC to run this. I'd recommend at least the 3060 for your graphics card, and at least an i7 or equivalent for your CPU. Skyrim, unfortunately, is a very CPU-bound game. Now, if you want something lighter, again, I left it very easy to modify. You can take out Traverse the Ulvenwald and put in something like Happy Little Trees if you want. And it'll be much more compatible for you. Or compatible with your rig, I should say. Let's roam through Ember Shard Mine here. So, optimally, this list, I mean, you can, even people who are a little bit more advanced at modding, I'm sure will find this list pretty helpful. Because I designed it in such a way where the load order should be pretty easy to follow. I documented things where I can. Some of the documentation is leftovers from Asensio as well, because if you kind of follow the pattern, Lorem was forked from Asensio, and now NGVO is forked from Lorem. But in the process, there's not a whole lot of Asensio visuals left over. It has been pretty much completely revamped. Hopefully you guys end up enjoying the custom tweaked cabbage. It honestly wasn't too bad to edit. Shout out to Mr. Alex Smoothie, who had originally edited Cabbage ENB, and then I further tweaked his edit. So I definitely can't take full credit for the edits. Now I tried to keep everything as photorealistic as I can. Like I said, next gen visual overhaul, not last gen visual overhaul. So you have fancy little E and B lights and everything. I tried to avoid major NPC replacers or city overhaul mods or anything like that, just because those things do, in fact, come with some potential conflicts for any gameplay stuff that you end up adding. And really, in order to patch those efficiently, I truly think that you need to know at least a little bit about custom patching. There are synthesis patches set up for you already. The synthesis patchers are ready to go. If you want to add your own synthesis patchers, you can certainly do so. So here we see Riverwood. And honestly, with no major city overhauls, I think it still looks pretty good with just the remeshes and retextures. See some new ivy on the walls. Northern Roads does a lot to add some new grass, but just removing Northern Roads 2 should improve FPS quite a bit if you're struggling to run it. Like I said, just remove Northern Roads as well as all of the Northern Roads patches, and then leave Blended Roads. You'll want to make sure to rerun your LODs. If you go into my Discord server, which is linked down below, you'll actually see the LOD settings that I ended up using for this mod list. That way you can just easily follow those along. Tweak it as you want it to be tweaked. Right. But yeah, it's super simple to add stuff like, if you want MCO, or if you want Simon Rim, NRM, Requiem. There shouldn't be a lot of conflicts out of the box until you start adding even more to it. And the version that this does use is 1.5.97, but it uses the best of both worlds version of 1.5.97. So if you do want to add Anniversary Edition content, that's also not too hard to do. Just add it in, make sure you get any patches that you need. But by default, this is just using the base game files. I can't hit this giant. There we go. Hey, Ayala, are you proud?
Well, that's taken care of. No
I'm
thanks
sorry,
to
my arrow was limp,
Well,
Ayala.
that's taken care of. No thanks to you.
He does not like me at all. Here you see Whiterun. Looks pretty spicy with Reverse the Ulvenwald as well as Symphony Shrubbery by, once again, Alex Smoothie. I did go for a more vibrant and green theme to this. But let's take a look at the map and maybe go to another little location. Let's use the paper map, which I think the paper map is honestly easier than using something like a clear map of Skyrim, because you can't really go wrong as long as you leave it at the end of your load order. There shouldn't be any map conflicts, anything like that. Take a look here. Morthal. Geez, and you can vividly see Solitude from here. A pretty nice shot there. Of course, you will get all the bug fixes that you need in this as well. Script fixes, unofficial patches, things like that. So anyway, guys, hopefully you take a look at NGVO if you're hoping to make a list your own. You just want some of the latest graphical stuff. Want to add some of your own favorite mods on top of it. Maybe you just didn't vibe with the gameplay of some of the other kind of heavy mod lists, and you want something closer to vanilla gameplay, or, you know, whatever you want to do with it. Morthal looking very swampy here. Anyway, guys, hopefully this video was helpful. Go check out NGVO. It is on the Wabjack UI. Make sure to check the unofficial box. Maybe in the future I'll try to get it to official status. But check the unofficial box for now. Have fun with it. I will catch you guys next time.